Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of Discard Dead, where we like to open boosters, boxes and decks of out-of-print trading card games. Today we'll look at Hyborian Gates, one of the most infamous CCGs ever printed, considered to be imbalanced and poorly conceived, with convoluted and incomplete rules leaving a lot to interpretation. A great many number of cards were also poorly worded, providing more confusion for players. But today, with the help of others who have attempted it before me, I will try to unjumble this mess to make it clear for you. Let us journey through the gates and see what we find. As we often do, we start with the cards. There are a whole slew of different types here, and we'll be dividing them into three categories: core, attachments, and hand cards. Gates are one half of the core of your deck and represent rifts between different dimensions. They are vital to your success, as without them you will not be able to transport your troopers and lay claim to dimensions. Each gate has a name and associated dimension, as well as a numbered track for overloading, but more on that later. The other half are the trooper cards. These are the soldiers you send to wage war for control of the 6 dimensions. They have attack strength and defense strength, an icon depicting their originating dimension, a name and type box, and a special ability. If an effect affects strength, such as a trooper gains +3 strength, it is applied to both attack and defense. Troopers also have unprinted abilities depending on their origin, as follows. Asgard. Asgardian troopers are the only ones who can use vehicles. Atlantis. Atlantean troopers can lend support to a battle in an adjacent dimension. If it hasn't already acted in combat this round, be it defense of or attacking a dimension, they may add +1 strength to another trooper, either attacking or defending. If the battle is lost, the assisting trooper is unaffected. Chaos. Chaos troopers are termed and referred to as monsters, but are still troopers in mechanic. After occupying a dimension, Chaos monsters can dimension walk, allowing them to transport themselves to adjacent dimensions without the use of a gate. Should a Chaos monster dimension walk, however, all attached cards are discarded unless stated otherwise. Gaia. Gaian troopers may use one Gaian magic card if they are either in battle or occupying an adjacent dimension to support the current battle. Gaian magic cards last until the end of the battle unless it has the persistent keyword, in which case it remains for the duration of the campaign. Hyboria. Hyborian troopers don't have any particular qualities, but they do have higher than normal attack values. Osiris. Osirian troopers get +1 strength for each attached tech card, and an additional +3 team bonus if they have at least one tech card and one Osirian companion attached at the same time. It is important to note that troopers can travel to any dimension, but gain +3 strength when they are in their home dimension. This is called the Native Son bonus. Next we'll look at attachment cards, which are cards that are played from your hand directly onto a trooper you have in the ready area, and never put in play by themselves. They apply modifiers to a trooper's attack and defense, and may confer a special ability or quality. Be advised, however, that should a trooper be destroyed in one way or another, all their attachments are discarded unless stated otherwise on a card. Companions are assistants that can aid your trooper in battle. A trooper can have any number of companions attached, but they must all be from the trooper's dimension, having the same dimension icon in the upper right corner. Tech cards are technical or magical devices designed to protect and empower their trooper, and a trooper may also have any number of tech attachments. Tech cards originate from the Osiris dimension but can be used by any trooper, Osiris or not. Vehicles are special in that they can only be used by Asgardian troopers, and a number of them affect the way a trooper may transport. Only one can be attached at a time. Finally, hand cards. These are Vortex Tactics, Gaian Magic, and Power Surge cards, and are played directly from the hand into play for an effect and then discarded. Vortex Tactics are special orders or other effects played only during the Vortex Tactics step during combat to attempt to control the battle. Gaian Magic cards are spells and powers drawn from the Gaian dimension. They are played during the Gaian Magic step during combat and can only be used by Gaian troopers or if another card says they can. Power Surges are powerful cards that can be used at any time during the game, except for the draw and gate stages of the turn. When building a deck, there's a couple of rules to follow and a few things to keep in mind. You must have at least 50 cards, and for every gate card in your deck, you must have 9 other cards. So a 50 card deck would have 5 gates and 45 other cards. For every gate that has an ability, such as Typhon's Gate, you must have 2 other gates without abilities. So a 50 card deck could only have 1 gate with an ability, but a 60 card deck could have 2. Finally, you can only have up to 2 copies of each card unless stated otherwise. The other things you'll need to consider are things like what cards you want to use. If you want to use vehicles, you will need to use Asgardian troopers and companions. If you're looking to use tech cards, consider some Osiran troopers and companions to capitalize on the +3 team bonus. If you want to use Gaian magic, you will need Gaian troopers and companions. A sample deck of 50 cards could be 5 gates, 11 troopers, 11 companions, 9 vortex tactics, 9 power surges, and 5 other cards, be it tech, magic, vehicles, what have you. Before we start, let's look at the layout. Dimension cards are here in the middle. On either side is each player's campaign area, where ready troopers are sent to battle for dimensions or over other gates. Moving outwards is each player's gate area, and then ready area afterwards, where players play troopers and attachments. Finally, your deck can go here and your discard pile next to that. First, place down the 6 dimension cards in order: Hyboria, Gaia, Asgard, Atlantis, Osiris, and Chaos. Each player then searches their deck for a gate card and places it in their gate area in front of its associated dimension, and then places a pyramid on it to form a pyramid complex. Oceanus' gate would be placed in front of the Atlantis, for example. Then decks are shuffled, and each player draws 7 cards for their starting hand. The phases of a turn are as follows: the draw stage, the gate stage, the sequence stage, the player turn, the player activation stage, and then finally the end stage. During the first 2 stages, the draw and gate stage, each player acts simultaneously. Afterwards, the player action order is determined, and each part is played in alternating order. Each player simultaneously draws 1 card from their deck and an additional number of cards equal to the number of dimensions they control. Each player may now play a gate card from their hand into their gate area and put a pyramid on it. The pyramid can be of any color associated with any dimension, not necessarily that of the gate you just played. The order of the player turn is now decided, being the player with the most pyramid complexes. In case of a tie, find some random way to determine the active player, either rolling a die or flipping a coin. The player turn follows its own subset of phases: overload, attach, transport, combat, ready, and activation. In the overload phase, the player may decide to overload a pyramid complex by stacking up to 4 additional pyramids on it and moving the stack to the appropriate number on the gate card, as seen here. More pyramids means more transport power and more destinations, but at the cost of the gate's destruction. Be advised, you cannot overload a gate that is already overloaded. In the attach phase, the player may attach as many playable companion, tech, and vehicle cards from their hand to any troopers already in the ready area as desired. The transport and combat phases are a little complex, so we'll look at those in depth shortly. In the ready phase, the player may now play any number of trooper cards from their hand into the ready area. If the player's hand now contains more than 7 cards, they must discard until they have 7. In the activation phase, the player moves pyramid stacks on overloaded gates down by 1. If the pyramid stack was on 1 and has to move down, the stack is removed and the gate card is destroyed and sent to the discard pile. They say to the player on their left, "Your gates are active," and then the next player begins their player turn. A pyramid complex is made up of a gate card and a colored pyramid placed on the gate when it is played. Using pyramid complexes, players may transport their troopers to or from dimensions or to an opponent's pyramid complex. Monsters with dimension walk or other movement between dimensions may occur if the player's trooper has the ability. Transporting a trooper to or from a dimension or an opponent's pyramid complex requires the gate being used to have enough transport power to do so. Transport power is determined by the gate and its pyramids. If the gates and pyramids dimensions do not match, they can provide one transport power to either dimension. If a gate has a matching pyramid, it has two transport power to that dimension or one to either adjacent dimension. The transport cost of any given trooper is the total number of symbols in the top right corner and those of any attached cards. A trooper with one symbol and an attachment with one symbol costs 2 transport power. Transporting to an opponent's pyramid complex works the same way, and you may transport troopers to pyramid complexes whose gates match the type of dimension you would also be able to transport to. Be wary, however, as you cannot transport to a dimension or gate that does not match any part of your own pyramid complexes. Some examples of gate and pyramid combinations. A red Chaos Gate and a green Gaian Pyramid has one transporting power to either the Chaos or Gaian dimensions. A red Chaos Gate with a red Chaos Pyramid has 2 transport power to the Chaos dimension, or 1 to either the Hyborian or Osiran dimensions. Overloaded gates provide more widespread power, following the rules as above as if they were regular complexes, but now adds additional power to other dimensions, depending on the additionally attached pyramids at the cost of the gate's eventual destruction. Adding different colors increases the number of reachable dimensions, while adding the same color heavily increases the already established power. A Gaian Gate with a green Gaian Pyramid built is overloaded with a red Chaos Pyramid and a yellow Osiran Pyramid. This gate now produces either 2 transport power to Gaia or 1 power to either Hyboria or Asgard. It will also produce 1 transport power to both Chaos and Osiris. A Gaian Gate with a green Gaian Pyramid built is overloaded with 2 additional green Gaian Pyramids. This gate now produces either 6 transport power to Gaia or 3 power to spend among Hyboria and Asgard. You could potentially spend 3 troopers with companions to Gaia, or 2 troopers to Hyboria and 1 trooper to Asgard. Combat itself is not just as straightforward as comparing strengths, as we'll see now. Step 1. If the campaign is against an enemy gate, the defender draws up to 3 cards, or until they have 7. If the campaign is for control of a dimension, skip ahead to Step 3. Step 2. The defender announces whether they wish to defend their gate. If so, they may play any number of troopers to their ready area. Step 3. The active player selects a trooper and all their attached cards to attack with from amongst troopers in a campaign. They then calculate and announce the trooper's modified attack and defense scores, including bonuses from all attached cards, and inform the defender of any abilities. Step 4. The defender selects a trooper to defend with, calculating and announcing their trooper's modified attack and defense and any abilities. Step 5. The attacker may now play any number of Vortex Tactics cards face down. The defender then plays their Vortex Tactics cards face up and resolves them, after which the attacking player now reveals and resolves their face down cards if able to. Step 6. Each Gaian trooper, directly or indirectly involved in battle, may now play and resolve a single Gaian magic card. Step 7. Now compare the attacker's attack against the defender's defense, and the defender's attack against the attacker's defense. If an attack is higher than the opponent's defense, they win and kill their opponent, discarding them and all their attached cards. It is possible for both troopers to be destroyed this way. The defender will win all ties. If any ability ends the combat or a condition can't be met, return the attacking trooper to its owner's ready area. The defending trooper remains in its location and neither is sent to the discard pile. If neither has an attack power greater than the other's defense number, return the attacking trooper to its owner's ready area. Step 8. A single battle in the campaign is now over. Discard all Vortex Tactics cards and Gaian Magic cards unless they have Persistent. If opposing troopers still occupy the dimension and you have more attacking troopers, battles continue until one side is depleted of combatants. If the battle was against an enemy gate, if it is not defended, or if there are no longer any defenders, the gate is destroyed and discarded, and the attacking troopers are returned to their ready area. Check to see if any player controls enough dimensions to win. If not, start another round from the draw stage. Play continues until a player controls enough dimensions or until a player's deck has run out of cards. A victor will not be crowned until a certain number of dimensions are under control by a single player. To be in control of a dimension is to have at least one trooper occupying it by the end stage. The requirement varies depending on how many players are involved, as you can see in this table. In a 2-player game, one person must control 5 dimensions. In a 3-player game, they must control 4, and for 4 or more players, they must control 3. If there are 5 to 8 players, add an additional set of dimension cards to form a second universe, and a player must control 3 dimensions, with at least 1 in each universe. Alternatively, if a player has no cards left in their deck and they must draw a card, the game ends immediately, and the player who controls the most dimensions is the winner. In case of a tie, add up all strengths of cards in your ready areas, the highest total then being the winner. Campaign. When one or more troopers are transported to a dimension or gate occupied by opposing player, it is known as a campaign and is followed by combat. Battle. The combat phase of a single attacking trooper and a defending trooper with all their attached cards involved. The defeated trooper and all their attachments are sent to the discard pile. Immunity. A card with immunity negates all effects of a card that it is immune to that targets it and all their attachments. It does not protect from the natural strength of foes. Natural or basic. These are the printed values on a given card. In play. In a player's dimension or ready area. Remove from play. To place it in a location so that it is unaffected by the game and cannot be used again. Purge. Remove all cards from a dimension, ready area, or hand. Persistent. An effect that lasts until the end of a campaign. Well, this was a lot to get through. This game probably has the worst rulebook I've ever had to read, but I don't think the game is without merits. It is certainly a nice break from the standard resource cost, hack and slash, life point damage slugfest as in other games, but it takes a bit to get there. In any case, I hope I've made it clearer to you, and if you do decide to pick it up, I hope you enjoy it. Please like and subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.